The main reason why people struggle to manifest money is because they have a lot of money blocks stuck inside their subconscious mind that they still haven't cleared out. And I say this because I remember during the beginning of my manifestation journey, every time I tried to take one step forward and manifest money, I would always find myself either losing money or just staying stuck. And it wasn't until I cleared out those blocks that I actually began to manifest money, and a lot of it into my life. And now with over 2 years of manifesting money, I learned that there are four main things that a person has to do to clear out all the money blocks in their subconscious mind. Now, the first thing a person has to do is identify exactly where their blocks slash limiting beliefs come from. Do they come from circumstances? Do they come from the people around them? Or is it just social media? For example, I used to be the kind of person who would go on social media and I would begin to follow people doing way better than me in life. I began to follow those people to see like their perspective. How did they do it? Like, what's so different about them? Why them and not me? And as I began to hear those people, I began to actually program myself with the worst beliefs ever. Every person would say, you need to work hard and you need to be very lucky. Well, that's the last thing I want to hear. But because back then I didn't know that every person has the choice to either accept the belief or reject it, I just accepted what those people said as truth. And since I accepted it as truth, it became a part of my identity, which now meant that every time I try to take action, I now have to pray to God to give me extreme luck to make everything work out. Of course, nothing worked out at the end, but nonetheless, watching those people and listening to them gave me so much limiting beliefs that it took so much work for me to overcome it. But I didn't only get limiting beliefs from social media, I also got limiting beliefs from the time when I was a child. For example, I used to be the kind of kid who would, let's say, get a 70 out of 100 on a test. Now, although that sounds good and fabulous, to my mother, that's very bad. And what she would do as a way to motivate me or make me improve as a person, she would tell me, you're not doing well enough. You're stupid. And then she would begin to compare me to my cousins. And as a result, that made me develop the habit to not just compare myself with the people around me, but with the people that I see on social media as well. So now every time I try to work on a business or try to hit a new goal, I would always get the belief that I am not smart enough to solve a problem, or I am not smart enough to succeed. And it wasn't only my mother who gave me those beliefs. My father played a huge role back in 2021 when he thought that the best way to motivate me to become a successful person would be by taking me down to his factory, because at that time in 2021, my father had a successful business where he was making over 6 figures every single month, and he wanted me to kind of just be on the same level. So what he did was he took me down to his factory, made us wait there for over 30 minutes just for one person to walk by and for him to point at him and tell me, you see that guy over there? He used to have everything in life handed to him, and now he lost everything. And you will end up exactly the same and even worse. You will end up in a place in life where you come and work for a guy like me and get paid below minimum wage. I swear to God, that's exactly what happened. And of course, that kind of talk from the kind of person you should be looking up to affected me a lot. Because now, when I wanted to build something of my own and kind of prove myself, in the back of my mind, I ultimately knew that it would be a failure. But then as I began to learn more about the mind and how it works and how to actually manifest and reprogram your mind, I began to understand that if you know where a limiting belief comes from, you have power over it instead of it having power over you. So when I sat down with myself and I was like, okay, why am I not making any progress? And I began to list all the beliefs that I had. Only then I knew what kind of new beliefs that I need to reprogram my mind with. And this brings me to the second thing, which is creating new beliefs. Now that you've listed out all the old beliefs about you from childhood, from social media, from the people around you, begin to create the opposite of those beliefs. I want you to understand that there's something called the law of polarity, where everything has an opposite: hate, love, fear, peace, failure, prosperity, and so on and so on. And all you have to do is begin to identify the opposite of your old beliefs. So if you have the belief that you need to be very lucky, tell yourself, being lucky is very natural to me. If you have the belief that it's very hard for you to succeed and you need to work hard, tell yourself, I succeed easily. Opportunities come to me. Now, I want to make something very important, that just because you created new beliefs means your job is done. No, you need to now reprogram your mind with those new beliefs. And that brings me on to the third thing, which is not using affirmations. One thing that I hate about the law of attraction slash manifestation space is that people tell you every time a negative thought comes up, replace it with a positive thought. That's not how you should do it, because every time you try to replace a negative thought with a positive one, you just end up attracting more of what you're trying to ignore. You're not actually helping yourself out. Instead, you're just proving to your mind that you're so desperate to make a change. The mind is only programmed at a state of calmness and stillness. So if you want to program your mind with new beliefs, you first need to get in a place of stillness where you sit down on a chair or you lay down on a bed, relax your entire body so you're able to access the alpha state, the state where you're able to actually reprogram your mind with new beliefs, and then begin to create scenes in your mind that implies every single new belief that you're trying to program your mind with. So let's say if you're trying to program your mind with the belief of success, create a scene in your mind where, let's say, your channel on YouTube is blowing up, your business is blowing up, payments are coming through, and let your mind be so involved in these scenes, not in a way that you're daydreaming, but you're creating intentionally with your mind. If you believe in the law of attraction and in the energy world and the spiritual world, you must understand that everything is mental. So what goes on in here and is felt in here, so your heart, is reflected on the outside. So in your mind, within those scenes, fully immerse yourself in those scenes. See what's going on. Feel your surroundings. Hear what's going on. Give it color, give it life, give it spirit, and feel those emotions as if you are successful, as if you are wealthy, as if everything is working out in your favor, as if you are lucky. Feel as if within those scenes that everything is going according to exactly how you want your life to reflect in the outer world. Now know this, that as you begin to change your old beliefs, the old beliefs will come back as a way to put you off track. And the way it does it is by putting you in circumstances where you lose extra money, or something bad happens like you crash a car, or you get into a fight with a close friend. Whatever it is, something bad happens. Now you must understand that when those negative situations come up, you have to not react. And that brings me to the fourth thing, which is protecting your mental energy and aura. As I mentioned, the moment you begin to make a change in your life, life will try to throw at you things that reflect the old beliefs and the old frequencies attached to those beliefs. And your job is to learn to not react. In my last video, I've talked about the importance of becoming somewhat self-aware. Not too self-aware that you begin to punish yourself for not being the perfect person, but just enough self-awareness where you know exactly how you're directing your mental energy. Because again, your mental energy is your most important energy inside of your body. If you know where you're directing your attention, you have control over your life. So every time something bad comes up, tell yourself, I know exactly what your mission is, and I choose to not react. I choose to not give you my energy. The more you do that, the more you draw back your energy, and those limiting beliefs with their old frequencies dissipate. Now that's the first thing you have to protect, which is your mental energy. And I talked about the importance of developing the power of awareness and how to do it in my last video, which I recommend for you to watch. But mental energy is not the only thing that you have to protect. You also need to protect your aura, and you have to protect it from old frequencies or just bad frequencies overall. Now you may say, well, how do you do that? You know, how do you protect your aura? Well, first of all, to tell you exactly how to protect your aura, I want you to know that the gateway between the spiritual and the energy world to the physical world is visualization and imagination. So if you want to cleanse your body off of negative energies and protect it from negative energies, you gotta use your inner eye, aka your mind. And the way I would do it would be by making sure that every single morning I either stand up or sit down, and what I would do is close my eyes and then inhale and visualize as if I'm inhaling white radiant energy into my body. I'll begin by drawing the energy through every part of my being and draw up all the energy up to my head, and then imagine as if that new energy is circling around my head, inside of my head, not outside, for a few seconds. And as I exhale, I imagine as if old negative energy is going down through my body, through the bottom of my feet, into the earth. I do that with my head, then my chest area, then my abdomen area, then my pelvic area, then lastly, my feet. What that does is make sure that your body is full of radiant new energy, and everything else that's negative is outside of your body. But now I want to make something very clear. Just because you inhaled new energy doesn't mean you're immune from negative energy. No, you need to seal that energy inside of your body. You need to anchor your day to only be filled with good vibes. And you may say, well, how do you do that? I'm gonna tell you, just give me one moment. The way you do that is by imagining as if there's a radiant white sphere about that far from your head. You may feel a tingling sensation. If you don't, that's completely fine. Again, it's gonna take some time to feel the energy, but trust me, seeing it in your mind is just as fine. So while your eyes are closed, begin to see as if that sphere is extending like a fountain, like it works like a fountain, and it covers your entire body with radiant white light. Of course, you see the aura being built around your body until it reaches the bottom of your feet. Again, you don't have to sense it to make it true. Just by using your mind, you make it true. Because like I mentioned, the energy / the spiritual world is connected to the physical world through imagination / visualization. So now not only are you full of radiant energy, but you also have a shield around your body to protect you from negative energies. So you have to do two things. One, protect your mental energy, so protect your attention, because where attention goes, energy flows, and where energy flows, it grows. But you also have to protect your aura, so nobody and nothing can harm you. And I want to make like a quick note. Every time you see a negative thought come up or a negative feeling come up, do the exercise of visualizing white, radiant, new energy into the part where you feel that emotion. So if you feel negative emotions in your heart, visualize and draw up the white radiant energy into the heart. Let it move around for a couple of seconds, refresh that part, and exhale the negative energy down through your feet into the earth. And if you think negative thoughts, visualize the white radiant energy into the top of your head, let it move around for a few seconds, and do the exact same thing. Whatever you feel like in your body, negative tensions or negative emotions or stress or anxiety, do that practice. So again, just a quick summary. To change your limiting beliefs, to clear money blocks, first, identify where they come from. Second, get clear on exactly what kind of new beliefs that you want in your mind. 3, visualize and immerse yourself in a scene that implies those new beliefs. And 4, protect your mental and spiritual energy. That's how you get rid of money blocks. Now, I recommend for you to watch all my past videos because I know you can benefit greatly from them. Specifically my last video, because I talked about the importance of becoming self-aware and how to actually do it. So I recommend for you to watch that video, and honestly any video before that really, because I know that my videos will benefit you a lot. And all I would ask in return is for you to just leave a sub, leave a like, comment down below anything that you want me to address, because I am more than happy to address all your questions, because at the end of the day, I only get to grow as a person and experience what I want to experience when I help people like you experience what you want to experience.